So you're thinking about living on Lake Norman, and guys, look around. Who can blame you? Lake Norman is easily the most popular lake here in the Charlotte area and probably the Carolinas as well. So there's obviously a ton of pros about calling Lake Norman home, but just like anywhere, there's also some cons about living here on Lake Norman. So today we're gonna give you the unfiltered look at Lake Norman. We're obviously gonna tell you why people love this lake so much, but we're also gonna tell you the not so good aspects as well. So if you're thinking about living on Lake Norman, you came to the right place. Because today we're gonna share with you all you need to know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So guys, stay tuned because this is Lake Norman.
So if you are new to the channel and you want to know everything that's going on here in the Charlotte area, make sure you click that like button, hit subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you never miss another one of our videos. And you can follow us on Instagram. We post content there every single day so that you can be in the know about what's happening here in Charlotte.
My name is Josh Finnegan, team leader with the Finnegan Group, powered by eXp Realty.
My name is Brody, and I'm the lead buyer specialist here with the Finnegan Group.
And every single day we're getting calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to move to the Charlotte area. And guys, I'll tell you, we absolutely love it.
So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to reach out to us. Shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom meeting with us using the link below. We'd love to connect with you and see how we can make your transition to the Charlotte area a breeze.
So as we mentioned earlier, we're gonna give you the real look at Lake Norman while on Lake Norman. We're gonna tell you all the great things about this wonderful lake, but also some things you may need to know before choosing Lake Norman as your next home.
So after watching this video, you may just change your mind about moving to Lake Norman.
And make sure you stay tuned till the end because there are a couple interesting and, well, flat out creepy legends haunting Lake Norman. We're gonna share those with you at the end of the video. Let's go.
So let's kick things off by talking about Lake Norman's location, which happens to be one of its biggest pros. This massive lake sits just 20 to 30 minutes from uptown Charlotte and stretches all the way from Huntersville to Troutman, touching every lake town in between. And at over 32,500 acres and 520 miles of shoreline, this man-made lake is by far the largest lake in North Carolina, covering a massive portion of the northern Charlotte area. And 4 different counties touch Lake Norman's shores, meaning that it's home to some of the best towns, neighborhoods, and school districts that Charlotte has to offer. And we'll get into all that in way greater detail later in the video. And we can't talk about Lake Norman without talking about how truly stunning this lake is. Lake Norman has been consistently ranked the most beautiful lake in North Carolina for years, and it's easy to see why. On a clear day, the water is a deep blue and it's surrounded by beautiful Carolina trees and greenery. And don't even get me started about the fall days here on the lake. When the leaves start changing colors, but it's still warm enough to get out on the water, it's one of the best ways to spend a fall afternoon. And when you're exploring the lake, there's a ton of different islands and coves to check out. On the western side of the lake, you can get beautiful sunsets, and on the eastern side, gorgeous sunrises. Plus, the wildlife here on this lake really adds to the beauty. You'll see ospreys diving for fish, herons flying across the water, and turtles on logs, and bass jumping. It's just part of the everyday scene here on Lake Norman. Don't worry guys, alligators and crocodiles are not indigenous to this lake, so you can enjoy the water in peace. And it's not just the locals hyping it up. Lake Norman keeps showing up on national lists of the most beautiful lakes in the country. And while a lot of folks here make Lake Norman their primary residence, there is a huge wave of folks coming here and making this their second homes just to enjoy the beauty.
All right guys, let's jump into our next pro, which is the lifestyle and recreation Lake Norman offers its residents. Like Brody mentioned, this lake is massive and it's easily the most developed lake in the Charlotte area. You combine those two things and you get an unbeatable lifestyle. When it comes to recreation, the options are endless. Guys, before we shot this video, we were out here wakeboarding and surfing. There's a ton of great coves where you can go to wakeboard, surf, and ski. And if you get out here early enough, it is super calm and it's perfect. Thanks to its sheer size, depth, and an abundance of fish species, Lake Norman is a destination for fishermen across the United States. Striped, largemouth, and spotted bass, catfish, crappie, and many others thrive here, making every season a good fishing season. Lake Norman even hosts many major fishing tournaments throughout the year, like the National Professional Fishing League and the Major League Fishing Toyota Series, which attracts some of the best professional fishermen in the country. But don't let that scare you, because whether you're a pro or you just like getting out in the water and casting your line, Lake Norman's the perfect place for you. And one thing that I love about this lake is it's very developed, which means you have a lot of waterfront dining options available all throughout this lake. You have local favorites like Hello Sailor in Cornelius, North Harbor Club in Davidson, or the Relaxed Blue Parrot Grill in Mooresville, just to name a few of the popular restaurants. And many of the waterfront restaurants on Lake Norman offer docks, so you can actually just pull your boat up, go have some food, and then get back on your boat and enjoy the beautiful weather. Exploration is another huge perk of living here on Lake Norman, guys. There's always a new cove or a new part of the lake that you've never seen that you can just go explore and find something awesome. The lake is dotted with nearly 90 islands. And here's a local tip: a well-known hangout spot is over on Dog Island, which is over on the western side of the lake by Denver. Want some to the annual, which is now discontinued, Dog Island Jam Music Festival, the island is still a favorite gathering place for boaters, especially around its sandbar, with plenty of space for sunbathing, swimming, and picnics. And as you explore this 32,000 acre lake, you're gonna pass a ton of different sandbars that people love to go, dock up, and enjoy the beautiful weather. One of the most popular is Cocktail Cove, a lively spot near Hello Sailor, where the boats raft up, music plays, and people spend the day in the water. And guys, if you want to stay on land and still enjoy the water, then you're in luck, because there's a ton of great parks dotted throughout Lake Norman. Two of the most popular is Ramsey Creek Park and Lake Norman State Park, both with public beach access and boat ramps. So you can really enjoy the beautiful nature, get on the water, and really have that beach lifestyle without having a beach right next to you. And one thing you're gonna love about living on Lake Norman is the community, guys. There are events throughout the year, not just in the summertime. From fishing tournaments to community gatherings, there's always an event to keep your social calendar booked. And one of the most popular traditions is the Christmas Boat Parade, where decorated boats light up the water in a festive holiday display. So guys, easily one of the best pros about living here on Lake Norman is the lifestyle it lends to its residents. And if you guys are thinking about moving to the Charlotte area, you have to check out our ultimate relocation guide, completely free for you. Just scan this QR code right here or check the description below. It gives you all the insider secrets on the best schools, communities, the stats you need to make the best decision for you and your family. Again, guys, scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below to get your free copy today.
So we've talked a lot about Lake Norman's location, its beauty, and some of the ways to enjoy the water. But let's be honest, what do people really want to know? They want to know where they can live if they want to enjoy Lake Norman full time. So let's jump in and chat a little bit about some of my favorite waterfront communities and housing options right here on Lake Norman. One of the premier neighborhoods on Lake Norman is the Peninsula. This fantastic community is located on the eastern side of the lake in a town called Cornelius. This neighborhood has everything from estate-style waterfront homes to golf-front homes that still give you that lake life. The community is centered around the Peninsula Club, which has an 18-hole Reese Jones designed golf course, tennis and pickleball, swimming, fitness, and a full lakeside clubhouse. And if boating's your thing, the Peninsula Yacht Club is right there too, with boat slips, sailing programs, and lakeside dining. And it's not just about the amenities. Your location in Cornelius means that you're super close to I-77, Burkdale Village, and Charlotte City Center. So this neighborhood really gives you the best mix of a luxury lake life while also having access to the city. The Peninsula is definitely one of the higher end neighborhoods on Lake Norman, but they really set the bar for what luxury lake life should look like. Another fantastic community here on Lake Norman is The Point, which is located up in Mooresville. The community is built around the Trump National Golf Club, so the community has an impressive high-end vibe. Think big waterfront estates, private docks, and a true country club lifestyle with golf, tennis, pools, and dining. So if you want that resort feel on the lake, The Point is where you'll find it. And over on the Denver side of the lake, you'll find Governor's Island. This is a private, gated island community with some of the most impressive waterfront homes here on Lake Norman. There's only one road that goes in and out of this neighborhood, so it feels super private and exclusive, but you're just minutes away from Denver and everything that it has to offer. It's smaller, quieter, and a little bit more private than some of the other neighborhoods on the lake, which is why it's on the top of a lot of people's lists. And guys, that's just a few of the top waterfront communities here on Lake Norman. There's so much more to offer on this lake. And if you guys want to know more about these waterfront neighborhoods, feel free to comment below. We'd be happy to shoot a video detailing our favorite waterfront neighborhoods here on Lake Norman.
So let's jump into the next pro, which is Lake Norman is massive, and there are 8 towns that rest along the shorelines of Lake Norman, so there's a ton of diversity in the types of communities and areas that you can choose to live in. The rule of thumb, the east side of the lake, definitely towards Charlotte, and towns like Cornelius, Huntersville, and Davidson are a lot more developed than other towns on Lake Norman. So you're gonna have a lot more shopping and dining options, and there's a lot more built up neighborhoods as well. But with that comes a higher price tag. And one great thing is I-77 runs directly through these towns like Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson. That gives you super easy access to Charlotte City Center, especially if you use that toll road. You pay a little bit more money to skip the traffic. If we go just north of Davidson, you're gonna find Mooresville, North Carolina, which is a little bit farther away from Charlotte, but it's a little more attractively priced than some of the other places you can find on the lake. Now, one thing is that is changing quickly. It is the fastest growing suburb in the United States right now. And a lot of people are deciding to move up to Mooresville because of the better prices and the strong school district. The Mooresville Graded School District is continuously ranked as one of the best in the Charlotte area. Now, if you go farther north, you're gonna find some towns like Troutman and Statesville, much smaller towns. Now, they are growing quickly, but they're farther away from Charlotte, which is the central hub of the area. So you're gonna find a lot better prices, but you're gonna find less overall amenities. Now, if you go over to the west side of the lake, you're gonna find towns like Denver and Sherrills Ford, which is a little bit more rural than your east side. But that is quickly changing, especially in Denver. There's a lot of development going on, but you still can get a little bit of space from your neighbors, a little bit more acreage at a great price point. And you still have a great commute to the Charlotte area off Highway 16 that takes you directly to Charlotte, especially if you live in Denver. You can get to Charlotte City Center in about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic. Altogether, Lake Norman covers every aspect of life. If you want some more rural, a little bit more space from your neighbors, or if you want to live in that upscale community, you're gonna be able to find it somewhere on this lake. So it has something for everyone. Which brings us to our first con, which is the same thing. There's a lot of different towns, each with their own culture and vibe. So a lot of times it's very difficult to find where you may fit best if you don't know Lake Norman. The sheer size of this lake really means where you live dictates your commute to Charlotte, your school district, the overall culture and vibe, and the access to the amenities you may have around you. So if commute's important to you, you definitely want to narrow down how far away the town is, and especially where you live inside that town. Because a lot of times you have to drive around the lake, which can add a lot to your commute every single day. And if you're looking for school districts, again, we have 4 different counties and 8 different towns on this lake. So there's a lot of great school districts that people love, like the Mooresville Graded School District and the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District right by Davidson and Cornelius, but there are some that people like to avoid as well. And guys, the price points vary as well. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, if you stay near Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson, your price tag is gonna be a bit higher. Mooresville is a little bit lower than that, but that's quickly changing. If you go over to the west side, Denver is a little bit more attractively priced, and Sherrills Ford, which is above Denver, is a little more attractively priced as well. The rule of thumb is the farther you get away from Charlotte, the more attractively priced it becomes. And that's one of the biggest things we hear from our clients that move to the Charlotte area and are considering Lake Norman is they feel overwhelmed with the options, the towns, the differences in these areas, and it's easy to get lost. So a lot of our conversations is really helping guide them to the best area for them and their family. And for those buyers who don't choose us, a lot of times they could end up buying a home in a place that just doesn't fit their vibe, what they're looking for. So guys, to overcome this con, all you really need is knowledge, which is why we shoot these videos, to give you guys the information you need to guide you to choose the best place for you and your family. And again, give us a call. We're happy to help you along your way.
Now, we've talked a lot about the luxury lifestyle that you can find here on Lake Norman, and of course that's one of its biggest draws. But here's the thing, luxury living does come with a hefty price tag. The average price point on the lake in the past year was right around $2 million. The price points can climb well above that. Right behind me is actually one of the most expensive sales in Lake Norman history. This house clocked in at a whopping $11.5 million. Now, you can still find some smaller, older, and even teardown homes for well under $1 million. So if you've got an eye for renovations, or if you just want to secure a vacant lot to eventually build your dream home, you have that option here on Lake Norman. And living in an area like this, obviously your costs are going to be higher across the board. The Lake Norman area is not known for being one of the more affordable areas in Charlotte, so you really got to commit to that full lake lifestyle if that's what you want. But talk to residents around here, and I can assure you that almost everybody will say that it is absolutely worth every penny to get this Lake Norman life.
Another con of living on Lake Norman is Lake Norman can get busy, and guys, I mean really busy. Because it's one of the most popular lakes here in the Carolinas and it's very developed, it can get very busy, especially on those beautiful weather summertime weekends. As we can see, we're experiencing a lot of chop right now and it's pretty calm on the lake. So a lot of locals know that to be on Lake Norman, you kind of have to have a larger boat because if not, you're gonna get beat up by the waves. And now there are a ton of great waterfront homes and waterfront communities available, but if you don't live directly on the water, then you're gonna have to use a public boat ramp, which on the beautiful days in the summertime can get quite congested and backed up. Adding wakeboarders, jet skiers, tubers, and yachts, all sharing the same channels, it can really feel a little overwhelming if you're not used to it. And guys, it's not just the water. Traffic around Lake Norman, especially in the higher desired areas like that Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson area, traffic can back up quite a bit on the road surrounding the lake. But again, it's a sheer testament to the popularity of Lake Norman, and it's a very large lake. So one great thing is, even if you want a little bit of a quieter experience, you're gonna be able to find a cove that can give that to you even on the higher traffic days.
Now, one con that has really started to frustrate the residents of this area is the over-commercialization of the lake. We've talked so much about the incredible real estate, the waterfront restaurants, and all the fun things to do here on the lake, and those things are great, but they're kind of a catch-22. The development of this lake is what has made it such a phenomenal place to live and play. And you can obviously find dream luxury estates here on the water that are so close to Charlotte City Center, making it the perfect mix of city life and lake life. But for the folks who have lived here for decades or the residents that prefer calmer waters, Lake Norman's commercialization has really taken away a lot of that peaceful water that residents used to enjoy. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still find quiet coves and small pockets that you can dock your boat and enjoy some calm waters, but they're a little bit harder to come by. And on beautiful lake days, there's gonna be tons of boats flying around, making the waters a little bit choppy, and that just makes it tough to find that peaceful lake lifestyle that a lot of people are looking for. There are huge waterfront homes everywhere you look, restaurants to boat up to, and people wakeboarding and skiing all around you pretty much at all times. So we really encourage you guys to think about the type of lake lifestyle that you want for you and your family. If you want calm waters 24/7, no restaurants or boats in sight, then Lake Norman just might not be the best fit for you.
So guys, that's a little bit about the pros and the cons about calling Lake Norman your home. But this is what you guys have been waiting for. The local legends, those spooky things you hear about Lake Norman. And the first one has been murmured and talked about for decades, and that is the legend of Normie. Locals say that deep beneath the lake's surface lives a mysterious creature, often referred to as a cousin of the Loch Ness Monster, which honestly I have no idea how to get from Scotland to here, but who knows, people travel. Sightings of Normie have been recorded since the 1960s, which is when this lake was created. But there's no scientific proof that Normie exists. But the story adds to the unique charm of Lake Norman, and it's kind of fun to really joke around with. So whether you believe in Normie or not, when you move to Lake Norman, who knows, you may be the next one to sight Normie.
Another creepy part of Lake Norman is the abandoned ships that float these waters. Behind me sits the Catawba Queen, once the pride of Lake Norman and a favorite for dinner cruises at Queen's Landing. She is now just a faint reminder of what once was. Locals say it's unsettling to see this piece of the lake's history slowly fading away.
So guys, that's the unfiltered, real look at living on Lake Norman, the pros and the cons. So if you are considering moving to the Charlotte area or Lake Norman in general, we'd love to help guide you guys through this process and help you choose what place fits you and your family the best.
So feel free to shoot us a text, give us a call, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom meeting with us using the link below. We'd love to connect with you and be your real estate resource of choice to make your transition to the Charlotte area a breeze.
Guys, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you around town.